Hey guys, and welcome to another video. We are finally back. We're going to talk a little bit about kind of the elephant in the room. As you guys know, once you put a downpipe in a MQB car, you're going to introduce a lot more noise to your everyday driving. So in this video, I kind of want to touch on sort of what to sort of expect and ways to kind of defeat that noise. Now, it's with noise and with that upgraded downpipe, obviously you get a little more vibration, a little more drone, and of course a little more noise. Now for most people, I should say for some people, maybe not most, but a lot of people like the noise. A lot of people like how downpipe sounds, and especially a very common modification would be a aftermarket downpipe with a stock catback. And yeah, sometimes, what they do is they just remove the resonator and call it a day. Now for me, as you guys know, the first modification, really one of the first modifications that I've done to this car would be the Remus catback, which is of course non-resonated. However, it does have valves, and of course when the valves are closed, it does go through the muffler. Now, I actually have reason to believe, and I'm not too sure, and I can't confirm this because I really just don't know where to find the information, but I do know that with the muffler and with the valves open, I'm pretty sure at least I shouldn't say I know, but I think there's a chance that it still does go through the muffler because it's still not terribly loud. It's loud, it just it doesn't sound straight piped, which technically it would be with the valves open. So I'm not too sure. I know the driver's side valve does open and close a little bit. Even when it's in race mode, it closes at lower RPMs just to kind of reduce any drone. But regardless, yeah, ignore all the pollen. It's it's there. Can't avoid it, especially around this time. But yeah, I mean, this is with the valve open. Obviously, when you do have a Remus catback, the valve open are the two center tips, and the outer exhaust tips, those are the closed ones, and those route right through the muffler, and they're really quite quiet and effective. The most important part is they are effective. They make a big difference. Now, what I'll do is actually I'll set the camera right down here, and I'll give you guys a couple sort of before and afters. Then we'll jump on the road, and I'll talk about the sound inside the cabin. And as you guys can hear, the valves make a huge difference when it comes to at least revving it. And we'll jump on the road, we'll kind of show you guys sort of what it sounds like when you are driving it. But I will say, just from having this set up for about almost 2 weeks now, I've learned that the valves make a pretty drastic difference when you are just cruising. So I'm really liking that. It makes my drive a lot more bearable. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is the sort of the lasting effect maybe of the valves. I know a common thing with the Remus catback is the valve chattering sound. It's when you introduce a lot more flow coming out the exhaust. Example, aftermarket downpipe. I am still catted, of course. If you guys were wondering, I'm not catless, so it's not like I'm shooting flames by any means, but there's still a lot more back pressure. So I assume over time the valves are going to get pretty chattery, and there might be unfortunately that time to kind of switch into a different exhaust. But for now, it's livable. I can just tell you right now, just from the normal idle, so the valves are closed. Mostly from the driver's side, we're getting a little bit of a chatter. But this side is fine. This side is giving a little bit of trouble, but again, this valve is the one that opens and closes pretty much based off of RPM. Again, when you put it in race mode, this one opens fully. This one opens after, I think, 3,200 RPM. So, but I'm not too sure. Again, this one I should say is kind of moving a lot. So, the more times it opens and closes, the more wear and tear. As you guys know, that can sort of wear down a little bit. But anyway, we'll jump in the car, we'll take it for a quick spin, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about the driving impressions, because it's very livable. So yeah, we'll set on our way. All right, so setting off in the Golf R, we'll put in race mode. We are up to temperature. Yeah, it's a hot day, and it's amazing how quick our oil temps get up to what they're supposed to be, but yeah. It's loud. But it sounds really good. I think one of the things that I really do like about the Remus exhaust, I'm gonna use a little bit of AC because it's a hot day. The nice thing about this exhaust system is it doesn't get that annoying raspy tingy sound. Guys, it's a 4-cylinder at the end of the day. These cars don't sound that great, and anything to kind of reduce you know, that tingy, even drone is super helpful for improving the way and the feel that these cars drive. So there's something to be said about buying, you know, a nice exhaust for these types of cars. Now again, you don't need to do that. You can always go stock catback and of course just upgrade your downpipe, or you could do vice versa. However, you know, leaving your stock downpipe does restrict you from going stage 2 and of course getting those juicy pops and bangs. I mean, that just sounds so unbelievably good. And of course, you know, the DSG cracks also sound pretty fire as well. It's awesome. Yeah, the pops are very randomized. I'm gonna do a video specifically talking about the pops because they, in and of themselves, create quite the experience, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. There's some things that I do want to clear up and learn more about with these pops. They are a little hard to activate some of the time, and I don't know if they have an emergency, you know, shut-off system where if you know, the exhaust manifold or something gets too hot, then they do shut off. Maybe that's the case. I know they don't enable when you rev, as you guys heard before, so that's a little unusual and something I do want to kind of get at least answers to. There's a chance maybe they just do shut off if they get too hot, or moreover, there's also the chance that it just doesn't pop when you rev it too. So that's another thing that I do need to clarify a little bit. Now we are entering the highway. This is kind of the perfect place to do our drone test. And yeah. It's fun. Now, I will say, I'm still driving without an intercooler, and I need an intercooler. I need it. This thing gets absolutely, you know, I know it's robbing power after really one pull. I can just feel the lack of power, and yeah, I don't know. It really does need to kind of, you know, need something to at least maintain the temperatures, and that's the beauty of what an IE intercooler will do. Is it will, well, first and foremost, it's huge, and it will definitely help reduce temperatures. And that's just something that I'm gonna absolutely need, hopefully very soon. So we'll put it in the car. I just gotta find some time, maybe this weekend. As you guys hear, I'm in 5th gear on the highway. We're doing around 3K RPMs at around 63 miles per hour. I'm gonna give it a couple more shifts because this is the 7-speed, and now I'm in 7th gear. We're around 2K RPMs, and valves are open. This is me giving a little more throttle. Yeah, as you can still kind of hear the exhaust, I'm not gonna lie. That being said, the 7-speed does help a lot with drone, so even if you didn't get a valved Remus catback or something similar, it would still probably not drone. This exhaust system does a really good job of kind of an on-off switch sound type of thing where, you know, even when the valves are open, it still doesn't drone. It's a really, they did a fantastic job routing the pipes, and the overall construction of this exhaust is very impressive. And yeah, again, I'm really talking a lot about the Remus catback, but really the main point of this video is just to talk about how you know, this type of catback will react to a downpipe, because there's a lot of people who not just have who have the IE downpipe or whatever downpipe they're running, and they're concerned about possibly getting a catback and having it be too loud, and you know, use this obviously use this video as sort of an example, or sort of a, you know, a setting stone, because it's definitely livable, and you're gonna want a louder catback anyway to hear the pops. It's a very conservative pop tune. Obviously, it's not like a 1-2 pop. You do get a little bit of an elongated pop sound, and if you hit the RPM right, you can really make the pops last really long, as well as if you keep your foot on the throttle. All right, so we'll pop this thing into comfort mode, and if you guys were wondering too, this car will still pop and bang regardless of the mode. It's the pops really enable after, I want to say 3,500 RPMs is at least what I noticed, and that's kind of where you start to get some pops. Now the real meaty pops are around 4K RPMs, but yeah, but anyway, we're in comfort mode. We're cruising 40 miles per hour, 6th gear. We got another gear to go, but realistically for these speeds, you're always going to pretty much be in 6th gear anyway. I'm in auto, and as you guys can hear, I'm going to give it some throttle. Only thing I can hear is my intake. I don't hear the exhaust at all. It's unbelievable. You know, for a upgraded downpipe to sound pretty much as a stock downpipe sounded, it's pretty absurd. It's pretty nuts. So I am really happy with this catback and how it does manage sound. So if you guys are concerned about getting a catback, dropping realistically $2,000 on your already stage 2 car, or vice versa. If you don't have anything done to your car and you're really, if you want to do a catback and of course, and the downpipe, use this video as sort of a reference point. It's very doable. It doesn't sound, loud. In fact, if you guys were curious, I'll do a little pull with the valves closed. Yeah, here we go. You get the pop still, but it's so manageable. You can't really even hear the exhaust. It sounds, it's very muted, so pretty cool. But obviously, as you guys like to know, or as you guys probably are just like me, you like the noise. I like the noise. It just sounds so darn good. These pops are very they're very addicting. You can't not do the pops, and I think that's what's at least harming my fuel consumption. It's not uncommon for me to see 15 miles per gallon, and I'm not really hooning it. I'm just kind of keeping it in a cruisy gear. I don't know if you guys can see behind me, but some guys really on my tushy. We'll open the windows and I'll give you guys a little bit of an example of what I'm at least dealing with every single day with the valves open. It's just perfect. You don't get this any like tingy sound. It's just, oh my god, I love this. This is the, I'm not gonna say the perfect setup, but it's just good. I don't know. I love it. I love this car. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm not upgrading this thing. I'm keeping the Golf R. I'm not upgrading to another car, I should say. I'm definitely upgrading, and we're not done here. We're gonna keep modifying this thing. We might introduce some ethanol soon. Maybe big turbo if this one starts to, have some issues. But for now, the car's been really good to me. Have had no issues so far. So anyway, I do appreciate you guys for staying tuned to the channel. I know the videos have been sort of spaced out a little bit, but for the most part, I'm gonna definitely stay on top of it. We got a couple things we need to do. Spark plugs. We have, again, that intercooler we need to install. And it's all about kind of finding the right time to do that. But definitely stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to start posting a lot more on Instagram just so you guys are at least semi-updated on kind of what's going on. And we'll get back into our weekly post schedule. So I do appreciate you guys again for watching the channel and supporting me for all this time. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.